will be appreciated and felt by all of us. We thank you for that. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay. You can go eat food based upon certain, but you fit in certain categories, right? So now if your spouse fits the category, you can go with them. If your kids, your parents do. Yeah, that's all right. All right, so first up, anyone who has ever lived in Kansas? Played on the high school basketball team. You may now look at
I didn't know I was going first, so I haven't prepared anything. Yeah. Well, I just want you to know a couple of things. I think that the idea we're going to share just some things that you might not know about Judy and Sherm. And you've always known that Judy and Sherm have had a great Bible study in their home. You've known that Judy had been queen of the kitchen for the last 25 years. And we've seen her sing in the choir and you know, participate in a lot of different ways on church. But most of you have no idea of the incredible competitive nature of Sherm Arnold. You see him walking around, being Sherm, kind. He has that Kansas thing going, how y'all today? Not quite that bad. That was more like Tammy Sim. But anyway. And he, you know, he kind of just floats around. But several years ago now, probably 10 years ago, 8 years, I don't know when. But anyway, Sherm says, we ought to go play tennis sometime. And I'm thinking, yeah, I used to play tennis. Let's go play tennis sometime. So we go out to the tennis court, you know, and I'm getting all ready to play old man tennis. And Sherm just beat the pants off of me. He had me running back and forth and going crazy. He just tore me up, okay? And so we're all done, and he says, let's play again next week. Okay, the next week he kills me again, you know? But what he didn't realize is that I am significantly younger than Sherm. And so while he was going downhill, I was still on the rise. And all of a sudden, the game started to get a lot tighter, okay? And once in a while, this just happened every time we played. Sherm would smash one over the net, you know, and wipe me out, and he would walk back to his place to serve like that. And then the next point, I would smash one over the net and wipe him out, and he would walk back like this. And still, being so much younger than him, I was still getting better, and he was kind of going downhill. And I finally beat him once. Okay? Yeah. And he dared to come back one more week, and I beat him a second time. And then he complained that his knee was out, and he was never going to be able to play tennis again. So, about a year later, he says, maybe we should go play racquetball. I'm thinking, okay, I've never played much racquetball, so we'll see how that works. And he even had a special pass that got me into his club so that I could play for free, and Sherm paid for it, okay? And so he paid for the privilege of just beating the you know what out of me. I mean, he tore me up all over the court, you know, and I'm still trying to figure out what happened. And then he was so nice, he would take me out and treat me to a Starbucks or something after we played, okay? And next week, let's do it again. Okay, he paid for it, he bought the coffee, and I got killed, right? But once again, I, being so much younger than Sherm, started to get better at racquetball. And finally, after a whole bunch of times, I beat him one day. Okay? He didn't buy Starbucks that day. Okay? And the next week we went back and I beat him again. I had to pay my own way. And he didn't buy Starbucks that day. Okay? The third time I beat him was the last time we ever played racquetball. So I just want you to know the nature of Sherm Arnold. He is a fierce competitor and a winner, and if he doesn't win, he doesn't play. Now, Sherm, just to honor you, okay? I forgot to bring it with me, but before you head for Linden, I do have a present for you. I'm going to give you my expired pass to Olympic Fitness. I may not get an opportunity to say anything serious, not that I ever do, but just in case, a serious pastoral note before we get on with the roast here. And I've said this a couple weeks ago. Many, many, many people in our church give so much to make this place work. And early in the life of our church, when Sherm and Judy first came, there was a whole group of people, and we sort of recognized, and we talked about it, that our mission was to build Adventure of Faith into something that was sustainable and that blessed people and that would have a long-term life. And there are a lot of people that gave significantly to that vision, and they worked at it, they contributed in lots of different ways, and the result is what we have today, just a wonderful, wonderful church. Very, very few people, there are a few, but very few, who not only give and contribute, but they sort of just make it the center of their life, and they do whatever it takes to make the church successful, and they work in a lot of different arenas, a lot of different ways, wherever there's a need. And that has been Sherm and Judy for 25 years. I'm so thankful.
Thanks, Pastor John. Okay, next up we're going to hear from Connie Womack.
Oh my God. I'm so nervous. I'm going to need those at the end. So if there's any I need, that's great. Sherm, it seems like you got a lot of the attention last time, so I got nothing to say to you. You're the perfect man. I've always told Judy this. Felt like you were, and she kept telling me that wasn't true. I didn't believe her. But anyway. So, does anybody in this church feel like they're being watched? Like, constantly? That somebody knows all your stinking secrets? Everything, every embarrassing moment that you have here at church is witnessed. And who is it witnessed by? Judy. Judy knows everything. I tell you what, so my most favorite embarrassing moment was I was chasing a 3-year-old in a classroom, chasing him, and I tripped. You know what happens when you trip in a room full of 3-year-olds? Okay, so I landed on the floor with my head on the ground, and they all jumped on me. And I was bleeding, so one of them was really freaked out, and I come walking out, and who's sitting there? Judy, okay? She's like, Connie, you don't look so good. I could just concussed myself as a 3-year-old and try to pretend, because I'm the teacher, try to pretend that it's all normal for the kids, right? So what does Judy do? She proceeds to go get Elaine, and she brings me a can, not a bag, but a can of pineapple to try. It was out of the refrigerator. I was so grateful, really. Can of pineapple, it was so soft. Anyway, that was one of my, she's witnessed many of my embarrassing moments, but that's just one I want to tell. I'm not too embarrassed about that one. So, on the note that Judy knows everything about us, it was many, many years ago, and a young couple was getting married. And my Tom and I had disagreed about this particular piece of artwork in my house. I hated it. I thought we had no money at the time. So I'm sorry to the couple. I'm telling the story. I don't know who they are. Anyway, I had no money at the time, and I thought, I said to Judy, do you think this couple would like this picture? And I described it to her. It was a clothesline with a shirt on it, I think. And it caused much marital strife. And that's probably why his life was short as one. Anyway, so I thought I was embarrassed, but Tom agreed that we would no longer argue about this picture, and Judy agreed that the couple would like the picture. I didn't know the couple very well, but I knew the parents. So I wrapped the thing up, and I thought I'll be sneaky. I won't put a name on it. Nobody will know. So I put it in the pile of presents, went to the wedding, thinking no one will know, ever. And I got a thank you card in the mail. How did this happen? How did this happen? So I said to Judy, how? Because she was the only one that knew. So how did this happen? Judy says, well, honey, we were having dinner with the parents, and we were talking about the wedding, and then they brought up the fact that they had one present that didn't have a name on it. And Judy says, well, describe it to me. Tell me what it is. And they told her, and she knew. And I got my thank you card. So, anyway, I just want you to know, Judy, I have appreciated being watched. I have appreciated that somebody knows me and loves me anyway. It's such a rare quality. You know how stupid I am, you know, my ugliness, but you took care of my family. Well, not the last story. Anybody remember the year when we were out of power? Well, I was out of power for 7 days. 3 young children in a house with no water. And they had to do a Christmas play or something. And John said, anybody else still without power? Stand up. Of course, here we are. And I had to have these 3 kids cleaned to go and do this Christmas play. Judy and Sherm opened their house and allowed my children to take a shower. And then they said, well, what about you, Connie? I'm like, oh, you know, I did it. I took a shower. Anyway, your generosity goes beyond showers. It goes beyond. And I hate that you're moving, but I've actually spent time with your grandkids, so I get it. And God bless you. And also, I'm also Dutch. Just remember, in Linden, you can walk to any church you want, because there's a church on every corner except the grocer, the gas station, and the cemetery. Okay? All right. I love you guys.
All right. Well, fortunately, about the 25 years, many of the moments of Sherm and Judy's life in the church have been preserved on video, picture. So the creative and talented Doug Lewis has put together a video of some memories.
This what happens when you're married into the Lewis family.
burrito here in the kitchen at SKPC with two great cooks. I'd like to introduce Judy Arnold and Barb Pendleton.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, I'm Barb. That's Judy. Tell us, Barb and Judy, who do you cook for?
We cook for the Logos program here at SKPC, and we're also the head cooks for Family Kitchen.
And Judy's actually the head cook. I'm her assistant.
That's how many for dinner?
Usually we average around 250 people per week.
Yeah.
something else. Woo. Some of that hair back in those days. All right, thank you, Doug, for putting that together. That's great. All right, next up, we're going to hear a few words from Mr. Jack Deal.
Okay. I didn't know this was really going to be a roast. I kind of kidded about that this morning. They were going to roast Sherm and Judy, but I really didn't know that was really what was going to happen. But I will tell you this, that in this room, in about the third week of July in 1993, I was sitting here and the choir was up there, and after service, Sherm Arnold came down out of the thing and he threw his hand out and he says, "My name's Sherm Arnold and we have a Bible study on Monday night and we'd sure like to have you come." And I went home, my wife was not feeling good that day, and I went home and I said, "Hey, we got invited to Bible study." And you know, it was just a couple of weeks before we were involved in Open Door Bible Study. And I think we're the longest people there in that Bible study today that have been there the longest, pretty continuously. But I would like to just ask, in this group now, everybody stand up that has ever been to Open Door Bible Study. Got it. Everybody stand up. Yeah. Stand up. And this is just a small portion of the people that have come through Open Door Bible Study. And Sherm and Judy have always opened their home and just been so generous. And I will tell you, it's always been a blessing. Now, they know I've adopted their daughter as a grandchild. I've got a lot of adopted grandkids here. And Sarah's one of the special ones. I can remember years ago, Sarah came up to me and she gave me a hug and I needed a shave and she goes, "I like that." She said, "I like the way that is." My dad will do that on Saturday morning. He won't shave, but I get to have my face scratched, you know. My dad, that's pretty cool. And so I will tell you that anybody here that hasn't, unless you've been here only this morning, and then it won't count because, well, anything in the last week, you've had food or something that Judy's helped prepare, you know, in this church. That's been going on we've been here 22 years this year. This next July will be 22 years that we've come since we came to what was then South Kitsap Presbyterian Church. And today it's the First Adventure of Faith. And I can't tell you how many kids that are in this hall tonight that we used to pass around as babies around the Bible study on Monday night at Open Door. So, Sherm and Judy, we're going to miss you guys. And you know, the really cool thing is about Sherm and Judy, no matter where they go, the Lord is going to use them in a powerful way. And I know that all of you are here because you've been blessed by the ministry they've had in this church. And we just really want to thank you.
Thanks, Jack. All right, next up, Dave Reed.
Well, I've only known this couple for about 17 years, I guess. But that's long enough to learn a few things about them. And I thought about what I should share, or what would be appropriate to share. I thought about sharing about Sherm's unique contribution to his high school basketball team, but I won't. I thought about talking about Judy's backside that kind of got really warm because she backed up into a coffee urn. But I won't finish that story. And I thought about, we traveled for 2 weeks with Sherm and Judy to the East Coast.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Yeah, the floor is mine. But I did decide, Sherm, just to put your mind at ease, I decided that whatever happened in Boston, New York City, and Washington, D.C. probably should stay in Washington, and New York City, and Boston. So there you go. But if you want to talk to me, later. So, rather than sharing a bunch of stuff about them, I thought I would do something else and offer to you the top 10 do's and don'ts of retirement.
Oh, yeah, we need to know that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, number 10, as you retire, do not attempt other major financial or life-changing events, such as, purchasing a new home. Well, Okay, number 9, as you retire, avoid relocating away from familiar surroundings and close friends for at least 1 year. Well, that's no good. Number 8, do not attempt to mentally or emotionally spell retirement V-A-C-A-T-I-O-N. Number 7, Sherman, as you retire, do not be surprised as you see the honeydew list expand exponentially. Number 6, Sherman, Judy, as retirees, you will only be permitted to play golf on the days that end in Y. Sherman, during the early years of your newly acquired time at home, in order to avoid an activity that could likely be hazardous to your health, do not attempt to reorganize your wife's kitchen or rearrange her sewing room. Number 4, as you join the ranks of the retired, draw comfort from the fact that your secrets are safe with your aging friends because they can't remember them either. Number 3, as you retire, you will discover you have entered the world where every day is Saturday and you never get a day off. Number 2, Sherman, as a new retiree, be aware it does not bode well with a spouse that you are twice as much husband with half the income. Number 1. Godspeed, you two. And now it's my privilege to introduce the Adventure of Faith Players, headlined by the Van Dornick family.
How you doing? Hey, Sherm Arnold, how are you? Good to see you, man. Arnold, good to see you here. Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Hey, Sherm Arnold, how are you this morning? Good? Good to see you, Arnold. Oh, how are you? Good to see you. What's this weather out?
Oh, sure.
Hey, you got the Jayhawks game? No, good.
Sherman!
Oh, hi, Judy.
Hi! I need your help over here cleaning up.
Oh, in a minute, dear. I have a few hundred more people to greet.
Sherman, we need to get out of here early tonight. I have several Words with Friends games that I need to finish. And you need to check the squirrel traps.
Yeah. You know, Judy, I bet I've shaken the hands of every person who's come through this church in the last 25 years.
And I've cleaned up after all of them.
Hey, Judy, did you hear about the blonde who was trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle?
Oh, sure.
So, her husband comes home and he sees her sitting at the kitchen table and says, "What are you doing here?" And she says, "Well, I've been trying to do this jigsaw puzzle, but I can't even get two of the pieces even to fit together. It's supposed to be a puzzle of a tiger. See, look at the box there. There's a picture of a tiger. I can't get the pieces together." Husband looks at the table, at his wife, and says, "You know, dear, why don't you go relax in the living room, and I'll just put the frosted flakes back in the box."
Oh, Mr. Comedian, now come on, help me clean up.
It's hard to believe we're going to be moving away from here soon. Met a lot of great people, had a lot of great times here, haven't we?
Yeah, we were just a couple of regular country bumpkins when we came here from Kansas 25 years ago. Just think about all the wonderful things we've been able to see and do. Oh, and all the wonderful people that we've met, of course. Oh, Sherm, do you remember when you used to work from home and Mark Van Dornick would come and hang out with us when his mom was off doing that vitally important work of educating our community's children?
Yes, I remember it as if it were yesterday. Yes, Mr. Boeing Chairman, yes. Don't worry, Mr. Boeing Chairman. That machinist union, they're a bunch of pushovers. I'll have them eating out of the palm of my hand in no time.
Hi, Sherm. What you doing?
Oh, hi, Mark. I'm in a very important meeting. Yes,
You want
sir.
to play Mario Kart with me?
I can't right now. Oh, not you, sir. No. Don't worry, I'll get those top secret wage and benefit forms to you in a minute.
Please.
Judy. Okay, we have to be quiet. Yes, sir. Yes, that is a lot of money, but you know, we have to pay them something. It won't work for free. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won't. Yeah? Okay. No, I didn't say they, sir. No, please continue. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Chicago, right, Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, woohoo! Kind of like them apples. Oh, sir, what was that? Retirement? Me? Well, in a few years, maybe. Why do you ask?
So, this church has really been like a second home to us. Well, like a third home to us, and maybe like our fourth home, and our fifth home, I suppose. There's so many different things that we have been able to do while here. Let me see if I can remember some of the things. There's session, and choir, and logos, and deacons, and praise team, and Bible study, and Relay for Life, and Orange.
Yeah, and somehow you always end up in the kitchen. Just like those many Friday nights we spent at Family Kitchen. I remember it as if it were yesterday.
So, sure, I think it was a very successful night again at Family Kitchen. Do you think everyone enjoyed my meal? Let's see, I had bacon-wrapped shiitake mushrooms for appetizer, followed by deco l'orange with steamed asparagus and almonds, and capped it off with dessert of creme brulee.
It was delicious as usual, Judy.
Oh, thanks.
And we even managed to send home 57 bags of leftovers and 323 gallons of milk.
Well, I'm not sure where all of our helpers went, but I guess the three of us can manage to clean up, right? So, here, Sharon, would you put these cups away for me?
Sure, okay.
Thanks, honey.
Put these away, would you? So, remind me again, Judy, which praise team singing at this Sunday? Is it the 9:45 service?
Oh, no, sure. We don't have a 9:45 service anymore.
Oh, that's right. It's 9 o'clock service.
No, that was last week. This week, we have a 9:27 and an 11:03.
I don't know how you keep track of all that, Judy. You're amazing.
I am. Can you put the sugar away, please?
Sure.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm glad that we're finishing up early tonight because I need to get home and I need to make a wedding dress and 7 bridesmaids dresses for the wedding this weekend. And then I need to organize for Bible study, get all the plans for deacon basket, and then I need to change the oil in the car. So, Sherm, we need to put these leftovers in the Tupperware, but I need to go to the kitchen and make sure that the ovens are turned off. So, okay, you take care.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. I gotta go check the scores of the game.
I am gonna kill those two! Sherman!
Oh, what a mess. I'm sure Judy will clean it up later. You know, Judy, I was just thinking how thankful I am. Had so many great times here and met so many people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to miss them all, but there's one thing I know I'll always have.
The 200 green pins we have at home that say Adventure of Faith?
No, I know that I'll always have you.
Oh, Sherm, and I'll always have you, babe.
Hey, that reminds me of a song back from our carefree days when we were hippies. Maestro, a little music, please.
Our grandkids live up in the north, and we don't want to travel back and forth.
We'll miss it here, I know that's true. But you got me, and baby, I got you. Babe.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe.
We'll grow tulips in the spring. I'll wear wooden shoes and feel like a king.
And when I'm sad, you'll act like a clown. And when I get scared, you're always around. Now you're unemployed and your hair's turned gray, but I don't care with you all of the day.
Then put your little hand in mine and grab a pen, a new mortgage we must sign. Babe,
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Thank you.
okay, that's done. All right. All right, Mr. Don Billy. gonna come up now.
And I trained Mark better.
Well, I kind of felt like that should have been the end of the program today, but we do have one last thing, and it's the whole choir and assorted singers are going to come up, and we have one final song. Before we do, I just want to personally share a little bit about my experience with German Judy, as I always call her. Judy, if you has just, they've both been such a big part of the music program. I know they do a whole lot of other things. I have no idea how they have time because they do so much for the music program at the church. And like they kind of joked about it, it's not like things haven't changed continually over the past 25 years, and they have stuck with it through thick and thin. And I just know if I had to replace, I guess I do have to replace them. Some things that you're going to see are a little bit different. One is a lot of the lyrics on the screen are going to have misspelled words because Judy is not going to be there to point out that the misspelled words are there before Sunday morning. We'd appreciated that. Oh, Marianne? Okay. Actually, maybe we'll just move everything over. And anyone who's in the music program knows that they get weekly emails from me, but you know, Judy and I are completely different type of people. I'm kind of like I fly by my seat of my pants and just put stuff out. And then Judy is always the first one to read it and immediately replies and says, choir rehearsal is on Thursday, not Wednesday. She says, do you really mean the 9:30 services? We don't have 9:30 services anymore. And so I always get that first correction, and then I need, I guess, Marianne to step up to be the first correction on that. And you know, the thing that I've loved about working with Judy too is that we have had just a real honest. We've had some pretty good fights over the years about certain different things. And you know what? She always kind of put me in my place when I needed to be put in my place. So I'm thankful for that. And so we just. Yeah, Cindy will remind me of you all the years. Anyway, all my singers come up. We got one last song we want to sing for you to close the night off.
Yeah.
So here it kind of understands the theme of this song. You see his outfit. He's stabbed right in the heart. And that's how we all feel. Hence this song, which I have cleverly entitled Judy and Sherm. Hey,
We've all heard the news. They're leaving today. We'll have to say goodbye to them, Judy and Sherm. It's breaking our hearts. They're leaving anyway. But they don't care a bit for us.
Okay, now with the 30-minute rebuttal.
I was feeling bad enough when I was sitting down out there, when I look out at all these beautiful faces. Most of them are older than when I first met them. I don't have anything prepared. You can all applaud to that. I want to tell a couple of little stories, and then we'll go from there. But when we first moved to this fair city, and I'm not saying that with anything but just sincerity. We came here, and I had visited this church before Judy and Sarah came out, and I said, well, this is one church that I visited, and looks pretty good. So we came on a Wednesday night, and Logos was going on. And so we came here, and I brought Judy and Sarah just to kind of see how the church was. Now, you're sitting in church, for those of you who don't know. This is the church. Okay? We used to face that way, looking out these windows, and then at some point it moved here. We had wooden pews, and whenever we wanted to have something like this, we would slide all those wooden pews clear to the end. Everybody remember? And then if it was on a Saturday night, we had to rearrange and put all the pews back here. That's why my knee is so bad now. all the moving around with all these pews that we had to get, So it was on a Logos night, so I brought Judy and Sarah in just to see the church, and Pastor John met us out there, and he says, well, hey, why don't, why doesn't Sarah just stay for Logos? And I said, fine, because I was going to show Judy some of the town, so I needed 15 minutes to kind of drive downtown and come back. And, so then we drove around and knew when Logos was going to be over, and so came back and picked up Sarah, thanked Pastor John and everybody, and so we're driving around. And I said, okay, so just so you know, this is one of the first churches. We tried this one, we tried this one, but we're going to look at some of the other churches. And Sarah said, she's in the back seat, she goes, well, that's fine. You guys can go someplace else if you want to, but this is where I'm going. And so that's the only reason why we're here, is because Sarah wouldn't go anyplace else. So that was kind of the beginning of that, and I got so many stories that I could tell. You notice that Judy is not up here. We had the choice between either me coming up and saying something or Judy saying something. She may decide she wants to, but I didn't ask her to come up here and say anything.
Why is that?
Yeah, there's a specific reason why. Some of you have heard this story before, but some of you haven't been around here that long. We used to have what was called the Sweetheart Banquet. How many of you have ever been to a Sweetheart Banquet? Okay. And we had a great many guests on there that we found more out about them than we want to. So the first year that we did the Sweetheart Banquet, we were about, I don't know if we were a week away or 2 weeks away from the Sweetheart Banquet, and we had sold 4 tickets. And I think that the 4 tickets were to Judy and I and the Van Dornays. Oh, we had 6. And Gary and Jana. Of course, we were the ones putting it on, so that was the 6 of us. So I told Judy, I said, hey, we've got to do something. I said, why don't you go up and make an announcement that we need to sell tickets? And she goes, no, I don't like to get up in front of people. I don't want to go up there. Why don't you go ahead and do it? I said, look, I'm up there sometime, kind of a little bit more in front than you are, but not too much. But why don't you go ahead and do it? So that you said, no, why don't you do it? I said, no, why don't you do it? See, so it was different than when the Van Dornies were up here. We didn't get along all that well at all. So. And so finally she said, okay, not a problem. I'll go up and give the announcement. So Pastor John let her come up and give the announcement, said, Sweetheart Banquet is only 2 weeks away, and we've only sold 6 tickets. We need to sell more tickets. We need to sell at least 35 tickets. At least 35 tickets, because we're going to have a caterer. And if we sell 35 tickets, Sherm will greet every single one of you at the door in a tutu. That Sunday, we sold 37 tickets. So I have never allowed her to come up and give any announcements since then. So I met everybody at the door, right over here. I met everybody at the door in a 4-4. I could not get into a 2-2.
That's good.
So we had two tutus, put together and everything. I had a long handle underwear with red tennis shoes and that. You'll be pleased to know that I did change after greeting everybody, and I didn't spend all night long in that. But very, very seriously, there's been several things said about what we have done. Be able to make it. Yeah, what we have contributed, but for everything we have given, we have gotten back tenfold. Tenfold. I mean, this has been a wonderful time. And by the way, we still got 2 boys that live in the area, so we will be back.
Thank you.
I just want to know where you got the Kansas shirt at.
Oh, the internet. You can get anything on the internet these days. You want it? Because I'm not going to wear it. Yeah, so, all right. Well, I hope you all had fun. I had a great time. I know how much it's meant to Judy and Sherm to have fun with everyone here one last time. And like I said, I'm sure we'll see them around. So thank you all for coming, and have a wonderful night.
Joel, thank you.